You're listening to WRFB Radio Free Britannia. And no other better freaking place in the world than Deltona, Florida. Here you are, lunch, with no other than a dynamic duo, Laz and Jack.
And greetings, everybody. This is Laz.
This is Jack. Welcome to Lunch with Laz and Jack. Today we are joined in the studio by...
This is Shroud.
And how we doing today, guys?
I'm doing great. I got a new chair, so I'm sitting higher than I was before. A good 6 inches or so.
Just listening to the intro, see how we sound there.
Okay.
For the record, today is April 8th, 2016 here in Shroud and Avatar. It is Friday. We have the weekend update for you. Of course, we have the latest from what the developers are working on. And of course, maybe we'll get some news this afternoon on what's coming out for today's newsletter out there.
Yeah, we got lots of good information, and unfortunately, the fun thing that Laz and I disagree with is on the Dev Plus forums, so we can't really talk about that on air until they decide to bridge that, bring it over to the general population, and then we can sit there and have an hour-long discussion about the merits of each side. Until then,
yes.
we have to remain
until
mum.
Then. We don't know nothing until then, as I can't get a beat on the audio signal on the radio. So, of course, Justin, if you're out there, please go ahead and
I can do that for you right now.
And let us know. Let us know how we're coming across, how it sounds out there today, whether we're killing it, whether we're feeding back, whether we just sound a little bit muffled. We are working on it daily, trying to get this right to you folks out there.
It didn't sound bad to me. So Justin will probably be texting me in a good 30 seconds or so. So maybe
that'll be cool.
Yeah.
What if she's actually working?
Oh, well, that's a different story. You know, she's
Yeah.
actually working. Yeah.
That
But
does
we know
happen
Justin.
occasionally.
She'll put an earbud in her ear and she'll put us on the sneak so she can get her daily fix of the Laz and Jack show. Of course, I saw Stella Moon out there chiming in early. She came in and said her usual hellos in the chat room. And to everybody out in chat there today, thanks for joining us, of course. If you want to come and join us here in studio, of course, you can go to nbnn.info. Go to the Discord app right there on the main page. Fill out the information. Click on Take Me Away. I don't know exactly what it says there.
Connect
now, whatever it is. Come chat with us here in game. Come visit. Tell us what's going on in your world. Come chat about whatever topics we're chatting about today. So I see Crafty up there pole sitting. Is hanging out with us. Hi, Crafty.
I don't know when the next time we're going to end up with more skeletons coming out of the outhouses after Crafty Method is done abusing everything. So we will find out.
I don't know.
It looks like Crafty Method timed out.
Did he? Yes, he did. As I see the message on my screen. I was going to say, I thought he might have been playing with his invisibility there. But meanwhile, yes, it's Friday. We got the weekend wrap up. All sorts of events happening. All sorts of things going on. We got some announcements coming out today's newsletter. I can't wait for that to get out there, and we can go ahead and bring that to you folks.
We don't know when the newsletter is going to come out, and so that's part of the problem. But we do know that we do have all those questions for the Hangout of the Avatar, and we can continue going through those. So we do have a full plate today.
We have plenty of questions there, and last I looked, man, that was getting up there, and I know that I was hanging out with Jade for a little while last night, just shooting.
And one of our favorite questions is back in that list.
Is it? Yeah, I gotta love this. Let me go ahead and pull that one up because that's always funny to see. Let's go ahead and look at the questions list. 98 replies as of right now. And this is just too funny. So what were we looking at as of yesterday on this list? How far down did we get? I know you were just randomly reading off a couple of them up here. Now, do we want to get right to some of these questions straight away? Or
Not
do we
yet.
want to go ahead and cover yesterday's stand-up first, and then we can get the questions and ramble on and so
That
on
is-
and so forth?
That is correct. We need to get this through the stand-up corner, let everybody know what the devs are working on before we start conspiring about how the Portalarium are going to answer some of these questions.
Yes.
So,
Or before the rest of the general public starts speculating about things and running rampantly wild with conspiracy theories and all sorts of other wild things.
that's already going on. You don't have to do anything to start that
like lottery systems.
one. Oh, jeez. Yeah.
All right, Thursday's up on the screen for everybody out there to see. Stella.
Yes, it is. So, this is the stand-up corner from Thursday, April 6th. Today is... Did they mess up the date yesterday? Yes, they did. This is the stand-up corner from Thursday, April 7th.
I'm telling you, he's been rushed doing that. He's been...
Yeah. He changed the day of the week, but not the date. So we have Wednesday, April 6th, followed by Thursday, April 6th, according to the devs at Portalarium. I think we should file a bug report about that. And then from there, today is Friday, April 8th, for those of us out here somewhere. Yeah. So this is what the devs were working on yesterday. So Bob was working on the Shrine, the Broken Wagon, and also the Broken Galleon. Ooh, so that means that our shores are going to be littered with some bones of ships. Yay.
Yay.
Yes. Fletcher's going to be working on bugs.
Bug.
And epic plate polish. Kevin was working on the mail polish. He was working on hand size to make sure that it was Donald Trump-esque, the trapezoid size, and the female avatar rework. Leo the sound guy was working on the scorpion and rabbit noises. Maybe they're going to be breeding like rabbits. I don't know. But when you do kill them, they do tend to scream. Matt Psh was playing around with animal play animations. Reed was working on dungeon kit collisions, and Scotty was working on artifice. Over in design, we had Brandon working on the world item cleanup. Dan was working on pot updates, resistances, and targeting meeting, and the North Pilatus clones, as well as the map review. Finn was working on the Isle of Storm bugs. Fire Lotus was working on community. Keith was working on resistances and targeting meeting, and map review and underground map connections. Our matey was working on Valhold and the map review. Lum the Mad was working on localization fixes as well as malice fixes, and Sorcerer Steve was working on Brittany Central and the map review. That is all the guys in design. Over in tech, we had
map review out there.
Well, that just means they've got some meetings coming up before they start planning and what they're going to do. So,
absolutely, it's all about the map. If you guys didn't know all that, everything's built around the map. Funny story.
And remember the underground map connections? That could be the sewer system. So if you think about that, because there is the there is the sewer system connecting everything together as well. And sometimes that's going to actually be
Things
faster
that make you go,
faster than going over the overworld. If you know how to get through
saying
things.
underground for a year now. Underground. Don't forget about the underground.
They're not. They're not.
Actually, forget about the underground. Forget about the underground. You guys don't want to know about the underground.
Nope.
Leave that to the experienced travelers who don't want to deal with control points.
What are you talking about? I like control points.
But they don't do what you want them to do.
Well, as soon as they do exactly what I want them to do, and for other methods to circumvent the said control points takes substantially longer, then everything I will be happy. So let's see, over in tech, we had Eric working on pathfinding optimization and companion planning. So that, remember, companions are a single player only aspect of the game. Jason was working on updating interaction logging. One and Only was testing Unity 5.4, and for some reason he's got a nope. Emote fixes. Mugs are back for toasting.
Yay.
And Burning Toad is working on resistances and targeting meeting and lot selection sequence. Yes, and then Tassilo is working on more DDoS defense, security work, lot selection group display for account page, and Zach Shepard was working on the list mode for recipes. Over in QA, James was sanity reporting and regression in forums, the QA process improvement meeting. Michael was working on sanity testing and regression in customer service and account support and QA process improvement meeting. And Reese was working on bugs. Forums, sanity, regression, localization support, QA process improvement meeting. So it's good that the QA guys are trying to find ways to optimize their time and improve their processes.
Absolutely.
The production management, another group, we had Dippy Bird playing around with resistances and targeting meeting and the QA process improvement meeting. Gorn was doing general business. Hutch was working on the Old Knights Keep Homes QA process improvement meeting and the map review. Lord British was playtesting bug writing.
Bugs.
QA process improvement meeting and traveling to Venice for talk. That talk has already happened, I think. Darkstar was working on resistances and targeting meeting, the map review, the UT talk preparation, the map review, companion planning, and weekly update.
Yes, and the UT talk took place yesterday as well. Yeah.
So hopefully all those talks have actually taken place already.
Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah,
you know what? This makes me curious. What kind of laptop does Lord British actually use? What are the specs on it?
That is a good question. Doesn't he just carry a teletype around with him?
Well, unfortunately, the one that's in the office is actually broken multiple times.
Yes. Replicas. But a couple of things in there. There's one that we saw yesterday and we really didn't hit on. Let me pull this back up here real quick.
I'm looking back at it.
Where were we? We talked about the lot sequencing. Where was it? Come on, now I can't find it. Of course, list mode for recipes. I love that. The user interface, as the interaction logging was another one.
You're looking at today's, not yesterday's.
I'm looking at Thursdays. Yeah, the one we just
Okay.
Covered here.
You said there was something that we didn't cover yesterday. And now you're looking at today's.
Yeah, it was also mentioned in today, I thought, here. So I'm just double checking that here.
You have to give me an idea what you're looking for.
Yeah. I'm looking for it. Oh, I guess it was one of them was the pathfinding optimizations. But I don't. Yeah, pathfinding was in there yesterday. Yeah, we noticed we had the bug here with the pathfinding, and something we've been talking about a lot.
What are you talking about? What bug with pathfinding? I see no bugs with pathfinding. As I try to sit in that stool.
That one that you're showing everybody right there,
See, I walked right to it.
I would walk 500 miles. That's one of those things that, we've seen them do a lot of work in. One of the things that they're working on was pathfinding with the pets a while back, but we still have quite a few little bugs like this. I mean, that works, but it needs some tweaking. It needs some love. But the underground map connections, we've spoken about that as well. I've been chiming in on the underground, the underworld, and travel. And the topic of course, control points. Your view is it should be PvP. I tend to agree with that, but I still disagree with forcing people into PvP mode if they're not PvPers. And hence, I've been watching and looking at the underground, and it's been hinted at for ages that the underground is going to be, a way to get around the world.
Oh,
and
absolutely!
We're actually starting to see this all come together right now.
And we already have the sewer connections for everything, or most of the major cities already. And but one of the promises that this is a don't lawyer me broke conversation, but one of the things that they have talked about is the fact that people should be able to avoid the control points if they want to, but it should take them a substantial amount of time longer to avoid the control points. And so there becomes a desire to kind of funnel people, but for those that want to avoid it, they can. So that becomes an interesting conversation.
On that theory, the only other way to avoid them at this point, the way the map is coming together, of course, is to use the underground, from what I'm seeing. All the other roundabouts that have been there in the past are, now showing up as unpassable as other control points. So how do we plan to get around that aside from the underground later on? Do you think we have another method that's going to be available? I mean, we have travel, we have magic travel, and we know one of the biggest complaints is from the decorators on travel to get around that because of all the weight involved with carrying all these items back and forth. I still don't see.
A little, right?
What's that?
The rifts will help a little, right?
Well, I'm waiting for that to come into play. As a matter of fact, I haven't checked on that in a long time. Is the moon gauge here in Owl's Head still just directly to Solus Bridge? Let's take a quick jaunt across the way. This is something we discussed with Darkstar during the last interview, which is a good point. This is something that a lot of people have stopped using because they claim it doesn't work. Now, as far as I know, and my report was that this gate only ever goes to Solus Bridge and never comes back. And Starlong said, no, that's not right. They're supposed to cycle. Well, it still just goes to Solus Bridge and never comes back here, never cycles.
So one of the things, if you look at these stones, the ones that are actually in Solus Bridge, they actually have like carvings that tell you the different phase of the moon. And that is how it would actually rotate around. And so you would actually end up with different phases of the moon. It would actually connect to different places. But without having that moon symbol, this is not fully functioning. And I like how they've actually... But remember, there's supposed to be 8 different stones here.
Eventually. Yeah,
eventually.
But eventually, yes.
Yeah. And so that means that they need to go ahead and put inside of here the 8 stones and the different times, and you might as well just knock the stones down, and then hey, part of the story goes, we have managed to repair and upright the stone that has fallen down, and it is working
and remake
again.
The connection to where it goes here in the world. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that becomes story ideas, but
that was one of the systems that I was looking to really, see people banking on. But with that not being as functional as it should be for all the initial 4 locations that are available in Episode 1, or that will be available in Episode 1, 3 of them are your starting instances, which are Blood River, High Vale, and Solus Bridge. And then the one here in Owl's Head. Those are the 4 that are in existence. That's not true. There are 5 in existence if you want to count the one up in the Isle of Storms. But the Isle of Storms,
That's
again,
just starting,
rotates.
starting zone.
It still rotates as it is now from the other points. The other points all do rotate.
Yeah.
Mactane joining us in Discord today. Well, thanks for joining us again today, Mactane. Yes, and that's one of the problems that Jack and I have complaints about, is that player can just switch to single player online to pass through a control point, but control points at this point have no penalty. There's really nothing stopping somebody from just running right through a control point. It doesn't cause you to stop. It's just a slowdown at this point.
That actually brings us to several of the questions that are actually in the stand-up, or the what the hell is this thing called? The Hangout of the Avatar questions.
Right.
Because there are several questions about what is the plan for meaningless PvE deaths.
Now, we started on that yesterday, so if we want, we can go ahead and let's get these questions up on screen. Where do we want to start before I put them up on screen here?
Well, I was around the jackknife one, where he's asking when will the new male avatar get teeth and tongue, and the fact that, you know what, when we zoomed in, both of us, we both had teeth and tongue. So
that's
it's
right.
Yeah.
I'm looking for his question here. How far down was that?
About a fifth. Just do a search for 6:16. 6:16 p.m. That'll take you right to it. But then the next, I'm skipping the
Okay.
PKU Steam reports. Correct? It's like that's not a question. Or is it possible to post the total online players number near server status? It's like, but the Baron Droikis question: are there additional changes planned to make the death system more meaningful? That to me is hilarious, and that's one of those ones that we've talked about. They have talked about the fact that you go into a scene, you get to keep everything that you have on you, but any resources collected in a scene and you die in that scene, that will remain on your body until you go back and loot it. And then that actually becomes a little bit more meaningful. And then, you know what happens if it's also a PvP death? Should the PK person, or the person that PK'd him, I'm not saying whether or not it's griefing or not, is able to loot the body. So that actually becomes an interesting conversation. But you can see that.
Saying hello to this new guy in front of us here, Musaka. He's sitting there wondering what Crafty Method's doing laying down there.
Crafty's just taking a little nap.
Yes. He's tired out from his poop. Now, moving right along in the questions here, so...
Are you looking at Smoker KGB?
I'm looking at all those there, and let's go down to Smoker KGB here, yeah. Let's go ahead and cover
I don't
these
think
here.
that we need to cover +2, +1, +1, +1.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, we don't need to go into that, although we'll get to see that when, you know, we're watching the actual post-mortem.
So
he's got 3 questions here.
Yeah, does negative attunement affect your own stat or your opponent's? Negative attunement affects yours. That means that you take more damage from someone else using that skill against you. I thought that was pretty obvious. And what is planned for death consequences?
Both, actually.
How would it affect both?
Well, if he was negatively attuned to the opposite of what he's being attacked with. Did I have that right?
It just means that he takes additional damage. It doesn't really give the other person a bonus.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so the math only has to happen one way. You add an additional layer of complexity, and you need to follow the KISS principle.
Well, I thought if I had a positive, okay, if I have a positive attunement in death magic, okay, that means that my damage and everything else is
okay. That means that as you rank up that death attunement, your life attunement drops. Okay, so if I cast healing touch on you, it is less effective.
less effective. Understood.
Yeah, and so that minus is based off of what happens on your skill. It does not affect me because I am positively life attuned.
Okay, I see it. Still a little confusing on how some of those work, but I get it.
Okay, we can talk about this all day long.
Back to the other question, which is the same question as I guess
what
previously asked.
what is planned for death consequences?
What are the planned death consequences? We know anything about that?
Hey, is death going to be meaningful?
I don't know. Is there any meaning to death?
No, there's absolutely none. And then when harvesting, why are we losing so much XP on fails? We talked about this yesterday. That means that your skill is still going up. You're not actually losing XP on fails. And Rhea also answered that one for him.
Yes, you don't lose XP. You learn even from fails.
Now, I'll let you ask this Rufus question just because you.
Now, Rufus has a question. How many lot deeds will be available after final wipe?
The answer is 3.
It's 42,
Million.
isn't it?
Yeah, no, just 3.
How many lot deeds will be available after final wipe? That is an absolutely good question.
Finish reading all of it. Finish reading all of it.
In earlier times, prior to the advent of player-owned towns, there were rumors of lotteries for the purpose of lot deeds for the 30% surplus of lots that were going to be in game after the lots for all pledges and purchase lots. With the success of player-owned towns, the number of lots available in game will far outstrip the number of available lots originally envisioned. What are the devs' current plans in this regard? Well, interesting you just may ask that question. Unfortunately, we can't talk about it.
Dev Plus?
Dev Plus. But I can tell you, it's a very hot topic out there. And it is so hot that it is on fire. If this was on Google, if this was on Twitter, this would be the hottest topic of the day in the world. If this is on Twitter, this would be a fire. But first off, I mentioned this earlier. Lotteries. Nobody ever said there was gonna be a lottery. This I can talk about.
Suggested by Chris.
It was an idea. It was a suggestion. It was speculation. It was a year and a half ago. It was never written in stone. It was something they wanted to find out. And again, that was Dev Plus still. But why people think there is going to be a lottery is never been written anywhere that a lottery is going to occur. Is going to happen. Is planned to happen. It was speculation in a dev post a year and a half ago, and it died there, people. It died. Unless somebody can show me someplace in public where they say this is going to happen, please stop talking about this damn lottery. I can't believe they're still hammering on this thing a year and a half later. Never made it to the light of day of the public, but people are still talking about it as if it exists, it's in place, and these guys got a plan. Last time we asked them, do we know how you're going to gate or limit lot deeds? The answer was no. When we asked them, are they going to gate or limit lot deeds? The answer was yes. Those are the 2 answers that we have officially. That is all the answers we have officially. And if anybody has any information contrary to that in the public domain, please enlighten us and send us a link. Let us know. But otherwise, please, please, please stop speculating about things that were suggested, intended as ideas, and tossed out there for debate and speculation. Do not take these as
going to be enough
solid.
lots.
No. Is I can't find the place to live, Casey. There's no land for me to place my lot, even though I've got a lot. Is there going to be?
Doesn't that make the deed rare?
Yeah.
Would you like to chime in on this question? Is
I didn't hear it. I just tuned in. I got a break.
I'm busting on the people's belief in a lottery system that was speculated about a year and a half ago. Never made light of day in the public, and people believe it's actually going to happen.
They said that they promise.
Show it to me. I've been asking somebody to show it to me for a year and a half. Show it to me. Please show it to me.
They used the word promise like 90 times in it.
They promised there would be a lottery for lot deeds. Again, show it to me. Show it to me. Bring me physical proof, and I'll stop harping on it.
I'll figure out where it is.
It doesn't exist. That's why.
Yes, I know.
Although dreadfully despised did say lotteries confirmed, lotteries hype.
Yes.
I'll check back in with y'all guys, and as soon as I can, I'm bringing a special guest up to see Starr. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay, have fun. Yes. Enjoy that lunch too.
Tell Starr we need an answer.
Say we haven't decided. We can't figure out if there's enough lots.
Yeah. Don't make me pick up the phone.
So, Andernut is going to ask the question, when will Jabbering Bertha be available in-game? It's like, whenever they design it. Yep.
Now, the shield is actually available. The companion shield is available in-game, the buckler. And they did a really nice job in that. I'm guessing we're waiting for Underworld Descendant to actually go online. Isn't that what we're waiting for, or is it?
Well, it won't be functioning. It won't be functional until then. But the second question is actually,
so we go fully live and they go fully live. We won't see that, as far as I understand.
The second question is really the one that we need to talk about.
Yes.
The current teleport system encourages you to spam for friends to choose from when teleporting and encouraging guilds to set up bots 24/7 as waypoints, allowing you to teleport all over the world. What is the long-term plan for fast travel? Currently, one never need approach a control point to get where you want. So as long as you're not overweight, as Justin will tell you. And she is actually having trouble connecting to everything today on her phone.
Well, bummer. Try the app. Probably her signal on where she is.
She's tried both.
Bummer. But absolutely, the teleport system encourages fast travel. Very good. There are no limits on fast travel as long as you're within the weight limits. Very good. I love the way it works. Of course, the people who are complaining are the people who have tons of ore, tons of decoration, tons of this. Well, that's the whole idea, folks. Well, I don't know when the last time you tried to pick up a piano, put it on your back, and carry it across the street, let alone halfway across the world. But you're not intended to be able to physically do that ever. And I know it's breaking your immersion, folks, but that's the.
I was going to say
items and weight.
A piano.
The thing really talking about is the fact that I can go from. Hold on. Unfortunately, it's like I don't. Why is nobody showing up as that online on my teleport list?
Because you don't have any friends.
Oh, I do. It says you're in Owl's Head, but I can't teleport to you.
Because you're already here with me. You can't teleport into same scene anymore. They nerfed that several releases ago.
Damn.
Is along with the /stuck for joining. They discouraged that one, as we know. But yes, I don't see spamming friends. One of my assumptions, and again, assumptions and speculations, I call them what they are when I use them. I'm assuming that when we finally get this new friend system in, you're going to actually have to confirm with your friends every time you teleport, and you're not going to be able to willy-nilly set up these 24/7 waypoints, as it may be. But yes, it does encourage you to have friends in the game. I think that when I want to travel to Jack, who's over in Ardoris, I'm going to have to click on the teleport. I'm going to have to select Jack, and Jack's going to get a message that says, "Hey, Lazarus wants to come to you. Will you allow it?" And he's going to have to click yes or no in order for me to be able to teleport to him. Hence, defeating the waypoint bots the way people may be thinking of setting them up. That's been my thoughts and speculations on it since I've seen, from what I've seen and understand.
Also putting a long timer on the use of the teleport scrolls. As long as it's on a long timer, it's like
I think they nailed it.
Yeah.
I think they've nailed it. Overweight, you can't use it. Period. As long as you're underweight. Now, see, it goes back to my original thoughts. If I have a magic ability, that magic ability should be available to me at my demand. It's a magic. If I have what it takes to get there, especially if it's in a scroll, if we want to base it loosely on the theory of scrolls versus reagent spells, if I have it in a scroll, the scroll guarantees that I am going to be able to pull this spell off. That's the basic theory of scrolls and magic in these types of games. Yes?
Not quite. They can put it on a timer. The timer still, it just prevents exploitation. It doesn't prevent you from not using the skill, other than saying, hey, it's like this was an undertaking, a physical undertaking, and your body needs to recuperate from the teleport portion.
And that's understandable.
So it's like, put the damn thing on a timer. You can still use it,
but I believe the physical undertaking is actually the weight limit. If you are over encumbered, why not?
Then you're. If you're going to use that logic, then it should knock your health down to like -2 for an hour, and that means that anybody that comes up and kills you, it's like killing wet toilet paper. It's going to go right through you. But if you say that, hey, the reason for the time limit between usages is because your body cannot physically manifest itself. You're only like 90% there, and it's the rest of it is being recreated. Something like that.
You tie that into a focus drain, and you have to regenerate your focus. Bada bing. It drains you of your focus.
It should be one where
why not? If it's going to drain you and put a timer on you, it might as well truly affect what makes travel happen like that, which should be your focus.
How long does it take? How long? If I had 1,000 focus, how long would it take me to regenerate that in town?
Well, again, that depends on the skills you've trained, how good you are, whether you use a potion. There's all sorts of mitigating factors that can be factored in there and again, those numbers aren't solid yet. We know we can do it instantaneously almost, but we haven't tweaked those final numbers. Are those gains permanent right now? We don't know all that.
Yeah, but anyway, I still think you're wrong.
Shit.
Yeah, I still think you're wrong in that.
I love this shit.
Because, okay, so let's go back to this. So you teleport into an instance that you're going to be fighting with somebody, and say it has drained all of your focus. How are you going to fight if you're a magic user? Or if you're even a fighter, because all of your skills require focus?
I'm sorry, you're just going to have to plan for your travel adventures. This is what they want us to do. They want us to think about our actions and our consequences. They want us to have consequences to our actions in the world, and this would be a perfect way. Action, reaction. Action, consequence. That would be perfect to add something that. How believable is it that you can just teleport right into action with no drain on your body and start swinging that sword and be at full potential? How realistic is that when you want to talk about somebody's immersion? We can do this one all day.
You're breaking my immersion, man.
You're breaking my immersion, man. I'm telling you, you're breaking my immersion.
Yeah.
You make me cry. I'm taking my game and I'm going home.
So, yeah, let's go back to Star-Lord's question. Currently, I see no real issue with the control points. I just run through them. I also see no point in paying a fee either. I am low level and cannot afford it, or I am high level and just pass it as quickly as possible. My main concern is /stuck. I know this can be exploited, and I did not really need it. I did not really need it for quite some releases, except for being killed and not being able to open a door as a ghost. However, it was very convenient. I had used it to leave my town, /stuck to leave the home, and another /stuck to get to the entrance point. This has saved me a lot. It's okay, blah, 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 blah. You have to remember that one of the things that they're supposed to do with /stuck is to actually change it to where it teleports you to the last pathable location. And so that should be fixed in a probably next release, but that was something that Chris was discussing on the last.
That was supposed to have actually been inserted this past, not this release, the past release, but they didn't quite make it as intended.
Yeah, and I think that
they also log all the locations to help them.
But they are logging that to find out those main abusers.
Yeah,
to help them.
I want to be number one on that list. I actually do.
You probably are number one on that list and have been for a long time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So it's all your fault. It's like, you can't do that. And you're like, yes, I can. No, you can't. And then the next thing I know, I find myself doing it every damn time to leave town. But yes, I've tried to wean myself away from it as well, even knowing they're logging it. Sometimes you just have to use it.
Yeah, sometimes I'm in a rush. I want to get out of a dungeon quickly. So, Andernut has a question. When will we see an overland mini-map? Easy answer to that one. When they're done with the fucking map.
When they're done with the game. That's right.
When they're done with the map. When the map is finalized, then they'll create mini-maps. Until then, the best location and the location that they use is sodamap.com because it's constantly being updated.
Sodamap is truth.
Yes.
Come from the big cheese himself. The
head cheese.
He even had his own macaroni and cheese box made. Lord British. Yeah, somebody won that, didn't they?
Yeah, it wasn't me. And there is a feature request for the exit escape dungeon spell or scroll instead of using /stuck to get back to the entrance, and you can use the teleport to the town entrance exit of a town or right to the overland. So that'd be like a ladder spell? Yeah, something like that.
Either.
Then we end up with Ice Queen's question. Any chance we could get the NPCs that are inside control points to be interactable on the overhead map instead and pay them there? That's actually a good idea. I don't have any problems with that.
That would save a heck of a lot of time, but of course,
it would save loading time.
Developers want us to do.
Yeah.
They don't want us. They don't want us to speed up our time. They want us to spend that time in game. They want to slow us down.
Yeah.
That's just loading time, though, man.
Doesn't matter. They want you to take X amount of time to get from point A to point B, and if that includes loads, that's how it's going to be. You'll either find it, I just that's one of those things that I see as how they control how much time spent in an area is being able to spend that time loading back and forth between the scenes. That's something that we've taken into account. You know, when I plan to travel someplace, I try and take as little as possible transitions that I can feasibly make in the game. If I can just teleport there, I do. If I can do it in 1 or 2 scene changes, I do. But if I have to go through 5 scenes to do it, unfortunately, that's the way it was built, and you have to go through 5 scenes to do it. It's like going down into some of these dungeons. There is no fast way to get to those dungeons. You have to go through the one scene, to the other scene, to the other scene, and that's the intention. It's to slow you down and to hamper your ability to move that quickly through it.
Yep.
My opinion.
Yeah.
But
it is.
We are actually starting to run tight on time.
I want to get this last question done. I want this last question.
Which one are we going to?
Will player-owned towns be subject to town sieges? This one has been asked and answered a dozen times. The answer is no.
Drum roll, please. No. Only NPC towns will be subject to sieges.
And that was because it becomes a tech issue and everything else. But they do plan on allowing player-owned town owners monster spawners at some point in time. They don't know when. So as it stands right now, the development is no. And then you end up with like a bunch of people saying, oh, I want town sieges, and then I don't want town sieges. And so it becomes an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So, so those are the questions that we have so far, since we are running low on time. Unless you want to say something about
we'll stop
town sieges.
No, we'll stop at town sieges because it's only Friday, and of course we'll have a newsletter coming out here today, and we'll have a whole bunch of stuff that they're going to announce in the newsletter today. We'll get a whole bunch more questions that are going to be generated by that newsletter for the postmortem next week, and we will have plenty more questions. We only covered the short portion of that list right now. We're barely halfway down the list at 100 questions or so right now, and I'm sure by Monday we'll have quite a few more to delve into, including repeats of questions that we've seen in the past, ladies and gentlemen. But moving right along, as we do have the weekend update, the weekend's calendar of events here in Shrouded Avatar. And do you have that ready for the good boys and girls out there who are joining us today, Jack?
Someone actually said something on YouTube for me, so I had to respond. So, welcome to the stream, Bailey. Most people actually watch on Twitch or in-game, or after the fact. So not live.
Yes.
So let me go ahead and bring up the calendar.
Welcome, nonetheless.
Welcome. Okay, so our community calendar is provided to us by Avatar Circle. Since it is the weekend calendar, I'm going to go ahead and remove the Ethervision Alliance, which is mostly the
media events.
All the media events. So that way, you know what? We end up with a cleaner calendar of just events. So all times are New Britannia time, which is Central Standard Time in the real world. Today at 7 o'clock, so Friday, April 8th, because today is Friday, at 7 o'clock we have a couple choices between PvE and PvP, or I don't want to kill anything, you can do something else. So at 7 o'clock, if you're interested in PvE, you can join Kazan Phoenix Fire or Malakis for the Phoenix Republic PvE nights. If you're interested in PvP, you can always go out to the City of Vengeance for an open PvP event. Remember, you can use the /who, and you can look at the leaderboard to see who all is in the scene. It won't populate until you click on the person. So that is an hour of open PvP. Then after that, if you're not interested in killing anything and you'd rather sit there and watch the stars, you can join our friend Bowen Bloodgood in Cair Drawkwitch for Friday Night Astronomy. And then after that, on Saturday, we end up with the Pack Slayer working hours. You can go join Sean Silverfoot in Winfield for that, although Winfield is not going to be there, so you'll have to go to Sean Silverfoot to go talk about the Pack Slayer community and everything else. Then after that, let's see, the 11 o'clock, we end up with the Church of the Darkstar with she's going to kill me for this, the Mistress of Chaos, although she prefers the High Priestess of Chaos, unless Laz is saying it, and then she likes Mistress.
That's right.
And then Kazan Phoenix Fire is going to be representing the Church of the Sun, which is Virtue. So we end up with the double sides of the Chaos and Virtue for a thematically chosen church service in Shroud of the Avatar. It is not very, very non-denominational. Then at 2 o'clock is the Baron Lee Construction Harvest and Craft Fair. So that's going to be starting at between 2 and 5. So you can go out to Baron's Reach and do some crafting with them and buy, sell stuff. At 4 o'clock, we end up with the Novian Academy Hospitaller Training 100, which is the introduction to player outreach. So if you want to engage in some hospitaller training, you can join Kazan Phoenix Fire on how to do that. If you are new player to player outreach as a hospitaller, you can go ahead and go do that, take those courses. He does have a series of courses that he wants people to go through. And then at 6 o'clock, we have the Port Phoenix Social Nights. You can go join Kazan Phoenix Fire for some social activities. They don't have any specific plan, so it could be a little bit of anything from fishing to music to gustball to PvE, dungeoneering, and adventuring, and maybe some PvP in there as well. At 8 o'clock is going to be the Serenite Auction, and that's going to be in Serenite, which is east of Grunwald and right next to the town of Vengeance. And then the EVL player-owned towns meeting. I think that's a private meeting that somehow got posted for everybody. Oh, never mind. EVL invites all players that own towns to gather and plan for the future. So the EVL Guild is working on a consortium of some sort. We don't know what it is. Then becomes the fun day. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
At the Fairpark Coliseum.
At 8:30 in the morning, we have the PAX Lair meeting. That is going to be in PAX Lair. Contact Winfield for that one, although we might end up with Sean Silverfoot being the one undertaking that one. Then at 2:30 in the afternoon, we have guest ball training with Seamus McGinnis and Sand. Make sure and contact them. They say it's going to be in Owl's Head, so that's going to be between 2:30 and 3. And then guest ball matches begin promptly at 3 o'clock and last until 5 o'clock. We don't know of any teams that are playing yet, but if to get to that event, go to Seamus or Sand. At 5 o'clock, we have the EVL Spring is Here Beach Party, which is going to be held in Virtua Oasis. The weather is changing and things are warming up, so let's go ahead and celebrate the spring and get us in the mood for summer. So
That
beach
will
party
be happening out at Snug Harbor, folks.
Why does that say Virtua Oasis? Why does
I
that
don't
say
know.
Virtua? So Snug Harbor. Cough, cough. Someone needs to update that again.
Beach party is on the 10th is at my place. I know that. So Virtua Oasis is not where it's happening. It's happening out at Snug Harbor. If you need directions, check it out on sodamap.com. I'll tell the good folks over there to get that updated on the calendar. ASAP.
If you're interested in some Sunday PvP, you can always join the BMC Gridiron. Registration takes place between 5 and 5:30, and the actual Gladiators Gridiron begins promptly at 5:30. And then at 7 o'clock is the weekly PAX Lair meeting, the afternoon session, which is most people. Everybody's free to attend. It is about the PAX Lair town, guild, and community. So the final event for the week is the one that we used to have to really roleplay, Fishing with Winfield.
Absolutely. Fishing with Winfield.
Yeah, they choose some random fishing spot somewhere on the map, and everybody goes and fishes for an hour and does some other things as well. So it is actually kind of funny, especially when before fishing was added into the game. It was hilarious. And that's the calendar for the weekend of April 8th through the 10th in Shroud of the Avatar.
Yes. Lots of good stuff going on out there for you folks to go ahead and enjoy during the weekends. You'll see most of the activity and events out there. Of course, that's when people have the most free time here in the world. But you'll be surprised what you find going on in the world. I also believe that today is supposed to be, and again, I don't see it on the calendar. Isn't today supposed to be the makeup for the end of the world party or the beginning of the world? Release 28 party was supposed to be taking place today at 2
that
p.m.
is supposed to be on. It never made it to the calendar at all. I don't know whose fault that is.
From now, right?
Approximately. Should be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. New Britannia time, which is Central Standard Time for you folks out there with the time conversion problems. But yes, that's supposed to be happening today. I haven't been seeing the release parties or the end of world parties making it onto the calendar. I don't know why, but that is not our department. All we do is read it. We do not fill it, folks. That's just anybody's guess. But we're getting to that point of the day where we're going to have to start wrapping it up, of course. And, of course, it wouldn't be that time of the day unless we said thank you to all our sponsors out there. And, of course, I always like to start with our friend Ben over at Relics by Rild. Ben at relicsbyrild.com, supplying you with all your licensed Shroud of the Avatar swag. T-shirts I wear here on set every day. He's got hats. He's got patches. He's got coffee mugs. He's got drinkware. He's got all sorts of Shroud of the Avatar swag out there. So go ahead and check him out. RelicsByRild.com. Use the promo code NDNN. Get 10% all your purchases on Relics by Rild. To our good friend Jacob White, SodaMap.com. SodaMap is truth. You've heard it directly from Lord British. That's the way they go to find out things they want to know about where things are in the world, because Jacob White does a hell of a job out there. You'll never get lost using SodaMap. If you're lost, go to SodaMap.com. Type in your location. It'll show you where you are on the map. It's a great resource for folks out there in the lands. Our friends over at SodaTaming.com, SodaCraft.com. These guys done all the hard work for you. You want to know about taming, you want to know about crafting, go check out their sites. It's packed with information that you need. And of course, last but not least, our good friends at ShroudMarketplace.com. Jack, you want to tell us about Shroud Marketplace? Or even
Shroud
better,
Marketplace.
Tell the good folks about Shroud Marketplace. I know all about it.
Yeah. So Shroud Marketplace is the place to go buy or sell anything that is Shroud of the Avatar related. So if you are looking for a service like you want Scroda to come to your event and sit there and play for an hour, you can do that. Just contact Scroda and you can actually get his services right now for $1 an hour. And then from there, if you're like, say you're interested in buying or renting out lots in your player-owned town, you could do that, kind of like Brickbat has with the Brickport family towns, where you can actually get a final wipe discount if you're looking for the rarest items in game, some of which are the Hearth of Britannia cabinets. We have 2 different people selling them on Shroud Marketplace right now, and then after that, we've got some of the all kinds of things that are no longer available on the store, including some accounts. And I plan on adding a bunch of my other stuff later on, sometime very, very soon.
Yes. I haven't added a whole lot, just the weddings that I have available out there. If you want to get married, you need somebody to perform services, or a private island to hold your event, come check me out, because I've got the place, I've got the credentials, and of course, I've got wedding dresses and tuxedos for all your needs.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think that's it. I mean, it's like if you have something that you want to sell that's Shroud of the Avatar related, you can always list it on shroudmarketplace.com. So,
absolutely. All right. Well, it's Friday, folks. We're going to wrap it up here for this week. We'll go ahead and post the newsletter when it gets out there, so you guys can read up on all the latest events that are being posted out there to the world when they come out today. We'd like to thank everybody out there, of course, who's viewing, who's watching, who's listening, and, of course, for those of you who catch us in replays throughout the world. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you all joining us, helping us, supporting us, and giving us feedback. Jack, you want to go ahead and take us on out?
Sorry, I was distracted by Dreadfully Despised and I are obviously, I think, getting married in-game. Out at Snug Harbor. It's going to be a very snug wedding. Yeah,
I got wedding dresses for you both.
Yeah. So, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for doing that. We couldn't do the show without you guys. So thank you, Dreadfully Despised. Thank you for the jokes. Thank you for all the new people that are watching. That includes Bailey out on YouTube, out on Twitch. We have Correct Manners, Gracchus Gaming, Ross Hero, and a few others I've never seen before. Thank you to the people that we see almost every day. Stella Moon, thank you. Thank you to Crafty Method as well. Thank you for not blowing up the bathroom today. We really appreciate it. We don't need any more skeletons littering the lot. Thank you to the people in-game as well. We saw a few new faces today, including, Mactane we saw the other day, but I can't remember the new faces, so I'm horrible with names. But thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for showing up. I guess I could scroll back and look at it.
Without you guys, it just ain't no fun. We'd be sitting here just talking to ourselves. Which we are no strangers to either.
Done that a few times.
All righty, folks. That's going to wrap it up for us today. I'm Laz.
I'm Jack.
And this is Scroda.
Yeah.
Casey Cupcake's missing in action again, and we are NBNN. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us in studio. Stay tuned to NBNN for more news, sports, entertainment, crazy, wild happenings, updates, and anything else we can bring you here in Shroud and the Avatar. We do appreciate it, and you all have a great weekend. We'll see you all on Monday. Uh-oh. Crafty Method's headed for the restrooms.
Don't. Him and Mactane, they both went in there to blow it up.
Oh, man. You better clean that up for Nut Butter production later on.
Yeah. Did you wash your hands? I hope he washed his hands. It's not very sterile in there.